Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa. Today we're going to be discussing Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 2. This is the fourth season, and this was a completely new batch of singles. And what I will say is, this second batch, particularly for the men, seemed more attractive than the first batch. However, I must say that I'm sensing that in terms of maturity, a lot of the women tend to be more mature than the men. There was a lot of sexual conversation off the bat with people like Alonso. I mean, Jonathan was asked a question and he did say that he liked sucking toes, which is to some people very freaky. Alonso also likes sucking toes. Then we had Lamar, and I'm not liking Lamar. I feel like Lamar's personality appears to be one that is like where he feels superior to the women, like he feels like he's the prize. And I got that just based off the previews for the season and also the preview for the next episode, because I think next episode the singles, all of them are gonna be mixed together and we're gonna see the dynamic. And I don't know, I don't like Lamar. He comes across very much like an asshole, and I don't know why they chose to inflict that on the women. We see that him, and I believe that woman's name is April, get into it because she asked him a simple question and his response was to be hostile about it, which upon feeding off of his energy, her reply was also hostile. So that was a mess. And later on, he's gonna have a date with that woman. What is her name? The woman that we call that the woman that is similar to Tequila, and he's gonna clash with her. The man just doesn't seem to know how to speak to women, and that is a big red flag, not to mention the fact that he's been married twice. And it's not only just because he's been married twice, but we're seeing the behavior and we're seeing the red flags and we're putting two and two together, and it appears that it's you. It was your fault that your marriages didn't work. Like, that's my assumption right off the bat. It could also be that the marriages affected him negatively and has altered his outlook on women. But just based on how he's getting on, I think he's the problem. For me personally, I feel like he's gonna last way too long. He's giving me a lot of someone said her BB vibes. Just this air about them that they're more and better than women. If you feel like you're better than women, go be with men, period. Why are you on a show seeking women? You seem like you hate women. Go be with men. Because I don't know which woman that would tolerate a man speaking to her in the manner that I'm seeing Lamar talking to these women. Like, okay, you want to skinny dip, you want to go to a nude beach on the first date. To me, that just proves that your intention is really not to get to know the women mentally. It's more so to see what they look like physically, so that you can probably make a judgment on whether you want to sleep with them or not. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. That's a big turn off. Next episode, I feel like he should be the one being sent home, yes, over the goofy comedian, because I feel like at least the comedian has respect for women from what I've seen from his interaction with the other women. He may be awkward, he may be, I don't know, financially weird and unstable, but at least he's not an a-hole. Patrice with the blonde hair seems like a really nice person. She connected to Alonso, which kind of shocked me because Alonso appears very goofy, very surface level. He, to me, is cute, but he's giving very unserious. But then he might surprise us because, as I said, based on the previews, him and Patrice are gonna make a connection. But so far, it's giving very surface level, very sex based, and it's giving a good time, not a long time. Upon watching again, I feel like Alonso and Patrice are a good match because it seems like both of them are there for a good time, not a long time. The digital science, data science, he lost his baby at the tender age of 6 months, and that just cannot be something that you can get over. That is a big deal, and that is something that the women have to consider if they want to pursue a relationship with him. What if, based on that situation, he has a difficult time wanting children? Or even when he may think that he wants children, but when the child comes, he may have this fear of losing them to the point where he detaches himself from connecting to the child. Like, so there's all of that the women have to consider. But he seems like a nice guy so far. We have, I think her name is Leilin. She reminds me of that woman from that episode with Clifton, that season with Clifton. I forgot her name. She's married now. It's just, maybe it's the outfit that she wore, but it gives across a very like closed off, professional, guarded type of personality. And men tend to not like that, especially these kinds of men. I think they want women that seem fun, open, and just a little bit freaky, to be honest. So far, my overall, I suppose, feeling about the season is I don't see much seriousness from the cast in general. Not from the first set, not from the second set. I see more serious sides from the women, but not the men. The men just look as if they were dragged here, and they're just too lackadaisical to me. It's almost like they have too many options, so they don't care either way. Whereas the women, they have this scarcity mindset where it's like, I need to make this work, there's no other men. And it's giving a little bit of, I wouldn't call it desperation, but more intentionality when it comes to relationships. Vanessa was really nice, very mature. She's definitely giving me that she's there for something serious. She did not entertain none of the sexual conversation. In fact, it really turned her off, and it would turn me off too. Like, I didn't come here to start off getting to know somebody with a sexual conversation. Like, that's just too soon. It's too much, and it's unnecessary. Like, tell me about yourself. Like, what do you like to do? What are your fears? What are your weaknesses? Like, why did your marriage fail? Like, what did you do wrong? Like, these are the things that are important, not if you like sucking toes and all this foolishness. Patricia, a very beautiful woman. The men, for some reason, didn't connect to her, and maybe it's because she comes across guarded, and the men just don't want to bother to have to remove those guards for her or help her remove those guards. Like, they don't seem to be that interested in doing that. I just feel like for Patricia, the reason why she was probably eliminated was probably just based on the fact that she looked like she's intimidating. She's the most intimidating to these men, so they just couldn't bother to that. To me, taking out Patricia proves exactly what I've been saying. These men are very unserious because it seems like they gravitated more towards the women that were, I should say, more willing to entertain the sexual conversation, which is why I'm kind of shocked that Rashina was placed in the top three bottom women, because I'm like, she's been the most open and the most accepting of the nasty talk. So I'm shocked. Maybe it's she comes across older. I have no clue what it was. Tommy said something about she not being open, but I feel like she was pretty open, and she played ball, so that kind of shocked me. But I feel like what it probably was because she seemed so cool and so down for everything. I think the guys see her as a homegirl, and it's very difficult to get yourself out of homegirl boxes on this show. So I think that might create an issue for her later down the line. But as for Vanessa and Patricia, them being on the bottom just proves that these men don't want mature women. These men want fun women. And I don't think that this show, the premise of it is, I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. By all means, you should have fun with your partner, but maybe start from the difficult conversations and then ease your way into the more superficial talk. As opposed to talk going to sex, and then it's difficult then to get into, okay, so you like the same thing I like sexually, okay, then let's talk about serious stuff. I don't know, to me it's a bit backward. Fun seems nice enough. He, I think, was married before, and he said that he learned his courting tips from watching shows, which to me is weird and proves that perhaps he didn't have a father figure in his life. Either that, or his father figure didn't spend much time with him and the TV raised him, which is crazy to me. I mean, did it do him well? It ended in a failed marriage, but he seems like a good guy. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. I think that's pretty much that. Maya ended up winning the competition, which means she knew the most about the men. The women did a really bad job at this game compared to the men in the first episode. I don't know what exactly that proves. Maybe it proves that women don't quite it I don't want to say it proves women don't quite listen, but what I will say is that it seems as if these men they didn't tell all the women the same thing. Like, for example, Jonathan, I don't feel like Jonathan told all the women that he learned courting from shows. I don't think he told all the women he was married previously. I don't think he told all the women every aspect of him that was used as questions on this episode. So therefore, it's like it was kind of unfair, because the men will only open up to who they feel comfortable opening up to, and who they don't open up to, like, how are they supposed to know these questions? It seems like a kind of unfair situation. What it proved was, I guess, more so that whoever the men opened up to the most ended up knowing more about them, which proves that the person that the men felt more comfortable with won, because they knew more about the men. So anyways, Maya won, so she was safe. I don't think Maya was ever gonna be sent home anyway, but yeah. What do you guys think about them implementing this game aspect to the show? Do you think that it adds to them finding love, or do you think that it's a waste of time because one cannot possibly judge someone's readiness for love based on how many details about guys that they remember? Also, do you guys like this format, or do you guys feel like it was better how it was before, where there was only one mixer and one set of people and a couple wild cards. In this, format, you have two mixers, two different kinds of sets of people. On top of that, you have sexy singles coming in. So it creates a wider dating pool and logistically a greater chance of success. We will see how that goes. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Ready to Love. We'll see. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye.